Hi everyone. I just thought that first of all, picture. What do you think of the picture? Um, Tommy Wright did a nice image of this zombie, as you can see with his little Aros t-shirt, etc. And it's kind of brought it up to date. We've got everyone involved here, so we've got Morphos. Everyone's included, and I absolutely love this. This screenshot. So yeah, that's the reason for that anyway. Right, this is a demo. We've now got. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but we've got SQLite on the Aros platform now, which I have to say 1.4 has been doing really well, and everyone's really enjoying it. It's much more stable. There's obviously a new browser, OWB, which is absolutely fantastic. In fact, I've got a newer version of it with a just-in-time JavaScript compiler, which is even quicker. So that will be coming along to you very soon. Anyway, back to the story. This is actually a tutorial. Now, I'm probably rubbish at doing tutorials, but I'm going to give this a go. Some time ago, a couple of years ago, I asked for SQLite to be ported. Now, funnily enough, I didn't realise it had actually been ported by someone a little while ago. So, what I wanted to do was use it with Lua. If anyone has used the scripting language Lua, to use it with SQLite. Now, the reason for this is, some of you may know, I'm a developer, Windows developer for web stuff, but I also develop on iOS for iPhone and Android. So I use SQLite quite a lot, so I asked, if this was possible, and it turns out we've got most of it. We didn't have the module to link Lua to SQLite, so our good friend Deadwood did that for me overnight. So we now got it. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll put a demo together to give you a very quick, get you up to speed. This is not, if you don't know anything about programming SQL, this is not for you, okay? But if you are used to developing with SQL with other scripting languages, programming languages, this is to get you up to speed and to show you what you can do with Aros. Now, this is a very small app. It's a stripped down version of my, well, you'll see in a second, my dance app. If you haven't seen it, let me just load this up. Right, so basically, and again, the dance app is a lot more involved than the dance app, obviously, and as you can see, there's blatant publicity. If you want to go and have a look, just go to dancerstudio.co.uk. Anyway, advert over. Right. So the idea is that we've got sequences of images that are strung together as videos. And you can see, if I click on the link, now there's no music with this, obviously. This is just the sequence. Now, why am I showing this? Well, I use SQL in the background, and what it does is it stores all the lists of images, does the scoring, etc. And so I put them together, and it makes an animation. So you can see this. So what we do is we'll let that finish. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my my editor. So let's rub this out. Go in there. Type in here Lua. Right, go into dance. Now, this is available. In fact, let me load this up first of all. Okay, all of this is. Close this. Get this out of the way. All this is available on my website imiga.net. There's a new. There's a page up there. So let me just click on it for you so you can see it. And then I'll go through this code briefly, so hopefully you understand this. Right, so www.imiga.net. Right, and you'll see on the front page Aros SQLite programming example. Okay, right. So if you scroll further down, this is the file you want. This one here. Okay, so if you download that, it's everything that you just saw in this folder. The code, the images. You've got about 9 moves worth of images. Bear in mind it's 20 megabytes. There's a lot of images for the video, so do bear that in mind. It's 20 megabytes. But what it will do is it will give you a good reason and how to do this. Now you can see from this script. Okay, so if I highlight at the top, this is probably the most important bit. Okay, that bit there, you must you tell it to require else SQLite 3. Okay. That's important. There's some messages here, just as you saw in the original panel. Ignore this bit because it's something I'm working on for next version. Sleep time. I do a bit of a sleep thing there. This sleep function here is actually really rubbish. What it does is it this function here. If anyone's got a better way of doing this, I wanted to put a wait state in there so it can wait, as you can see, 0.075 of a second, so I can do a timer and slow it down, speed it up for later on. But unfortunately, I can't find it. So I use this function, but it uses the processor, so it's a bit naff. Anyway, so if we scroll down, you can see here's the draw stuff, which I'll come back to in a second. Okay, and here's my wait for input. And the actual code itself is this small bit here, right at the bottom here. This is the code. So it's not really, apart from them functions at the top, it's actually not a lot of code. And all it does, it creates a window, as you can see here, Dance Studio window with the sizes. Creates a list of gadgets, which is these radio buttons here, and the replay button. This was actually, I'm doing a spinner, but I was having trouble with that, so I didn't do it for this version. Open it up, and it loads the original picture into the screen there with this command. And that's quite handy. That prints out the dimensions of the image, is quite nice, and then it waits for input. Now wait for input is just then it's sitting in this ready state here. So I click one of these, okay, and you can see another one of the dance moves. Just so you know, just for fun, this is the dancing that I do, and it was the original video was going to be me with one of the dancers at the club, but unfortunately she couldn't do it, so I got Paul and Sarah, who are slightly better, being the UK dance champions, but they're not much better than me, but maybe there'll be a video of me one day. Right, so let me scroll back up. Now, key things you need here, right? So the require else SQLite, okay, that's really important. And this command down here, and this is mydb, this command here, mydb equals SQLite3.open, and then the name of the database. Now, let me just show you the database. Hang on a second, let's do that again. I'm doing this in a VM, so this is my SQLite management tool that I use, and you can see here that here's the 10 moves. There's actually more in the actual app, but I've reduced it to 10, mainly because the number of images you have to load for the video, so to make it about, otherwise it's about 50 megabytes, so I thought I'd shrink it down a bit. So you can see here's a list of little details, and it's just a standard. SQLite is an industry standard, a light version of SQL, so it's really useful. So that's what opens that file. We'll step past these because you know what these do, these lay out the page. Right, so once you've got that, now it goes into a wait state. Okay, so when one of these waits, for example, if you press the key, if code equals 1, draw stuff, and so on, these are all the caption of the input. So if I press one of these buttons here, what that's basically doing is it's a gadget class, and it's saying code G1 get, which is basically one of these, and does the same thing as the keyboard, but it basically goes to this function, draw stuff. Okay, so let's go up to draw stuff. Now this is where it all happens. It brings in a variable which is an ID, and if you remember on that code, in fact, let me just show you that. That's not, oh, I've closed it, haven't I? Sorry. Okay, basically that's the ID for the record for the move. So I've put in the ID, and it comes back with the code, frames, title, etc. So what this does is it comes back with the code, which is this code up here. So if you can see where it says up here, left move A, and the frames, it's the number of frames. That's very important, the number of frames, and the title. So the title obviously is, well, obviously it's the neck drop or on the hop. Now, what that basically gives me, it gives me this code here for the left move G, okay, which is very important. So if I go over to this here, you will see that I know the left move, what was it, G, wasn't it? Right, open G, and inside here, well, there's a load of images, so let me just view them. In here are all the images, but it tells me how many are in there with the frames. Okay, so it's the number of frames is taken from the database and the name. So I can build, if we bring this back over now you can see where the files are. So you're welcome to play with this. Okay, it just basically goes into a loop and goes around. It says, for, it does a while my frames is less than counter, and it just increases the counter, and it just literally pastes the image onto the screen, as you can see there. Then there's a timer. If I go down a bit slightly, see it's got sleep command with that 0.075 of a second, so we get the 12.5 frames a second. Okay, it could do more actually. There's processing time spare. This bit here, all this does, and the bit below it, it's just basically, see these double zeros? It's just, maybe I was being lazy, but basically it has to build the path to the file. So the my code, so move / my code, which again is the left move A, and then it puts a 0 counter. So all it's doing basically is building the path up to these images. Okay, that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? And then it just bangs that up, and it goes round in a loop. Okay, then that's all there is to this. But the key thing is it's all coming out of the database. So that information is stored in the database, and it's allowing it to reference. Now, that opens up. I mean, I'm one of these people that you just show me the first couple of lines of code and I'll do the rest. So hopefully that's going to give you an idea how to link the two together. Next time I'm going to expand this with a nice MUI interface, because there's some really nice examples. If you go to, I'll come out of here and then go back to Lua, and in AmiLUA, no, not that one. There's a really nice one here, Pages. Okay, see, this is really nice MUI. So I've actually got to do a little bit to learn about all the tabs and the MUIs and understand that. So the key thing here is really, really simple. We've now got a really nice and easy to use scripting language. We've got a SQL database system. We've got a good graphics system as well. As you can see, it's handling the graphics easy. And tied up to a SQL database and Zune, so you can build very, very powerful applications with all that technology. If you want to get Flash, also the fact that we have a web server built in that can use Lua as a scripting language. So now technically, although I've not tried this, in theory our web server could use Lua to control SQL, so you could build actually web services and everything. But I think that's a bit. I think AOS is quite ready for that. Anyway. Hope that was helpful, and let's show you the up-to-daisy for those who like this. Sarah's a lovely girl, but she won't let me do that. Okay, I hope that was useful. Bye.